Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue working in my Ireland scrapbook, and we're doing virtual crop, the May virtual crop sketch number 4, which is a 2-page sketch. And we're going to showcase the photos of the grand staircase that is in the Dublin castle and a few other things. So let's check out my workspace and I will show and explain it all to you. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and you can see I have more papers from the Ireland theme pack out that we're going to use today again. And today we're going to do the virtual crop sketch for May number 4, which is a designed 2-page sketch, which I'm excited about because I won't have to do as much figuring out to do this one. But I'm going to use all 4 of these papers in different ways. So I have, you'll notice that these 2 are kind of short. These 2 are from the last layout that we did. So, but we're going to use up some more of this paper in this layout. So I have my custom cutting system out. I have the largest oval that is part of that system, which is the 5x7 oval. We're going to use the inside of it though, so it'll be a 2 1/4 by 3 inch oval. And I think we're going to use the red blade with that, but we might go with the green. I haven't fully decided, so that's why my box of blades is sitting out here. We're going to experiment with that. I have my permanent and repositionable adhesive at hand. We're going to need that, and I have pulled out a punch that to me resembles a bit of a Celtic knot. You can kind of see how it never ends. It just kind of keeps going, which is cool. And it's not exactly a Celtic knot, but it is pretty close. And this is the this is from 2 years ago, the wedding collection that came out 2 years ago, which I'm completely blowing my mind over. Oh, Devotion. It was called Devotion. So this came out when Devotion came out. It's a beautiful punch, and I just think it will lend itself well to what we are going to do today. So that's why I have that. I'm going to just set that off here to the side, and we will get to it eventually. Same thing with the custom cutting system. It'll just wait right there while we get ready. Okay, so I have, again, these 4 pages from the Ireland theme pack, and we will use all 4. Let me set this. We'll just sneak it right underneath my little trays there so that we can keep it visible for you. Let me tell you a little bit about the photos that are in this layout real quick. This is from the Dublin castle, and this is the grand staircase. So this is looking down from the top of, or from the midpoint of the grand staircase. You can see they go up again just a little ways. That's me. That's my mama. And here's Emily, and my mom and my sister were at the base of the stairs here with Haley and Michael and Heidi and my cousin Kelly. Here's Haley, and she's standing in a hallway that had amazing arched ceilings, arched abutments kind of every so often in this hallway. You can see that in between it was just a flat ceiling, but then there were these arches that were adorned with gold that were just amazing. This is the seal of the crown, I believe. This is this was over, I think this was over the throne in the throne room, so that's the next layout we'll be doing, are some more photos from that area of the castle, but we're going to include that on this layout for today. I'm going to cut that using my custom cutting system. In fact, let's just do that right now, and then we will know how to proceed. All right, so if I go ahead and line this up and we cut this with a red blade, then I can go back and I can cut a mat for it. No, I'm sorry. I would need to cut the photo with the green or the blue blade, and then come back and cut a piece with the red blade to make a mat. So I think I'm going to go with green, and we'll just have a really narrow mat on this one, which I think will be just fine. So I'm not worried about that. So let's go ahead and we'll cut this with the green blade. So I just centered it in the middle and then ran my blade right around. I love these because they turn for you, so you don't have to adjust your hand, which is so nice. And super easy, right? So I'm going to keep this handy so that we can cut a mat for that. But let's get rid of that. And this is going to go here, just kind of along with our journal box over here on the side. I have a couple of peekaboo pockets we're going to be working with today, and I'll show you kind of where those are going to go when we get that far. But let's cut some of our paper so that we can get this going. Oh, you know what? I just realized too, looking at this layout, they have used their corner rounder. So if you have a corner rounder, get that out too. We're gonna use that. Okay. So we're going to, first off, the main paper that's used, that I'm choosing to use on this layout, is this one with all the words and the hearts and stuff. I think it's just cool. And so let me move this out of the way just a bit. Move that over there. That way I can put my trimmer all the way on the table. Okay, so this one, I need a piece that is 10 inches for this tall piece right here. So I'm going to put my arm out on my trimmer. I've got the little foot pulled out so it stays nice and level. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trim this off at 10 inches. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece that's remaining and I'm going to cut this in half so that I have two 1-inch pieces. Okay. So just helping it not shift when that arm goes down. All right, so there we go, and we've got our two 1-inch pieces that'll go across the bottom. This piece, now we're going to need a piece that is 7 inches and a piece that is 5 inches. 7 and 5 equal 12, so that's pretty handy, right? So if we cut this, I want it to be able to look like one big piece of paper, so I'm going to cut it so that the 5-inch piece is this side of the paper. Okay, so that because I have words. If you have a patterned paper you're using, you might not need to worry about this quite so much, but I want it to be able to look like one big piece of paper all the way across both pages. So that's why I was very particular about showing that to you. All right, so now I'm going to use the blue paper, and we're going to cut, oh, nope, now we're going to use the plaid paper, sorry, pardon me. So we're going to cut 2 pieces of the plaid paper that are just a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to measure here to the right side of my cutting line to the beginning of my grid, and that is a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at that measurement. And I apologize if you can hear folks upstairs. They're obviously very happy, which is a good thing. All right, so we've got those 2. I'm kind of disappointed that the blue didn't show up in this one. Maybe I ought to flip this around and cut it again so that I get a little more blue, so they're both similar. And we'll just save this piece for another day. Okay, so I'm just going to set that over to the side. All right, now we're going to use our blue word paper. Okay, we're going to use our blue word paper and we're going to punch using the heart. And I don't remember the official name of this one. If you remember, if you're an advisor or you just know CM super well and you remember the name of this one, would you share that with me? Because I'm drawing a total blank. But I'm going to, we're going to punch and slide and make 2 strips of this beautiful blue. Reminds me of like a sapphire, a blue sapphire. Just so pretty. Okay, so there's one piece. We're going to do one more. I'm just going to flip this around so I don't have to trim off the little notches immediately. We'll get those eventually, but this just enables me to keep rolling forward, as they say. All right. One more, and I just need to get this lined up there. All right, so there are our punched pieces. Now the rest of this piece of blue I'm going to use to mat some things, and if we run out of enough of it, then we'll deal with that at that time. But I mean, you know, we can always use blue cardstock because it just matches this perfectly. It's just so lovely. I'm just going to come in here and try and trim off the little triangles, the little notches. Can you see those little notches? I bet they're very difficult to see on camera, but I just don't want those notches to be attached to anything. So we just trim them off and life will be grand, right? Okay, so when I'm ready to mat, I will have that paper ready to go. And then I think I'm going to wait also on doing the journal box until after, so I've got that paper here to remind me, until after we've mounted things. All right, so we're going to take these 2 larger papers right here, and remember they're going to go on our design just like this. And if you can see the sketch well enough in your video, you can see that these upper corners have been rounded. You don't need to round the bottom ones because you won't see them, but we do need to round the upper outer corners of this. So I'm just going to reach in here and do like so. Like that. And then because this paper has a white background and my pages have almost a white background, I'm not sure if it's going to show up very well. I wonder if maybe I ought to put some blue around it. I don't want to use this paper for that. I don't necessarily want to not waste, but I just don't want to use my designer paper for that. But I think what we'll do is I'm going to, let me move this punch a little out of the way. Okay, I'm going to cut a piece that is essentially the same size as this. No, I'm not. What am I going to do here? I'm going to just cut some strips That's what I'm going to do, because I can't just use one piece, because we used one piece to create this. So it won't be wide enough for me to use just one piece. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just cut 4 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch wide. And this is not really part of what I planned. This is Kim scrapbooking on the fly, because I really would like the paper to stand out a little bit better, and I just did not get that far in my planning. All right, so we've got 4 pieces of this blue cardstock, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to adhere it to this paper. Okay, so I'm going to take my permanent adhesive. You might want to use your repositionable adhesive if you're not confident in what you're doing. But I'm putting it right along the edge in several places. Okay, and what I'm going to do is come in here and I'm going to put some repositionable adhesive on my cardstock. I'm going to lay it down on my grid and stick it down so it doesn't move. Okay, then I'm going to use this to help me measure. So I want just 1/8 of an inch, I think. I don't want a lot of a border. I just want enough of a border that I can see the edge of that paper really nicely. So we're just going to go with 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to stick that down. Then we're going to come in here with another one. And I'm going to stick that down to my mat again, because I already have adhesive on here, and that way I can come in here and place that down just like that. Okay, I'm going to lift up this corner and make sure that is adhered all the way out to the edge. Alright, and then we're going to just trim it. You can use your 12-inch trimmer to trim it, or you can just get some scissors out. I'm just going to grab me some scissors and cut right along the edge, and flip it over and cut right along this edge. Okay, then I'm going to come back in here with my corner rounder and round that corner. Uh-oh, come on. There we go. So that will stand out much better on my page now. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Alright, so now Whoop, I almost forgot. I need to round this corner right here. Okay, now that piece is done. And we can go ahead and assemble these pages. Okay, so I'm just going to put I'm going to keep this out for a minute. I think I need to use it. I'm going to need to use it again, so we're going to keep it out. All right. So let's see here. We're going to start with the left side of the page, the left side of the layout. And you can see this was a plaque that they had out that explained what the grand staircase was for and how it was the first of its type in Dublin. They made this staircase in 1749, but it was later remodeled with a new handrail, it says. So lots of great information on there. And then these are some of the portraits that hang right there next to the next set of stairs up. So you come up to the landing and turn and go up the side. And there was a staircase on both sides. So there was this one, and then there was another one on this side, which is super cool. And then this is the Irish Republic declaration of what the provisional government was going to provide to the people in Ireland. So just kind of a cool document to have a copy of. This is the medallion that you receive when you receive the Order of St. Patrick. And this was given to King George III in 1783. It says on this plaque right here. The Star of St. Patrick is the emblem of the order, of the most illustrious Order of St. Patrick. So very cool. It was actually donated or provided to this museum that we were walking through in 1973. So thank you to the people who donated that. That's a cool thing to be able to see and know about. All right, I'm just going to set those up there while we assemble this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my plaid pieces. I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive, which grabbed my paper and ran with it. That was crazy. I'm going to put this right across the bottom, right up against the jeeping in the center, and then right across the bottom edge of my page. Okay, so that's that 1/2 inch plaid piece. Then we're going to take one of the 1 inch word pieces, and this is going to go right on top of it. So just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take this 5 inch piece of our words that we did the background on. I'm going to add some more adhesive to it so that it is good to go and will adhere in all the places that I want it to, right? Still got some of my repositionable adhesive, but needed just a little bit more. This is going to go and be seated right on top of that 1 inch piece and be right up against the jeeping here in the center. Okay, so that's going to go there just like that. Okay, then this piece down here, or this punched piece, is going to go right across this area. So I'm just going to add some repositionable adhesive to this very carefully, because this is not the most delicate punch that I've ever created, but it is a fairly delicate punch, so you want to be careful. Okay, so I'm going to line this up by starting it at the jeeping over here, and then the edge, this edge of the center of the heart is going to go right along the edge of the paper that is already on the page. That will help me keep my design horizontal. Alright, so now we will be ready to go ahead and add our photos. Okay, and these two photos are going to be stacked like this. And they really should have a mat, so we'll probably need to cut some blue cardstock to go around those just to kind of give them some continuity. The title, so you see up here where they've recommended the title goes here, but I am going to cut a title using my Cricut machine and have it be here, have it go perpendicular to the page. So I don't need that. I could have used that if I'd only had one photo to go here, and I could have used a peekaboo pocket, but I don't have a second photo for the other side of the peekaboo pocket, and I'm already doing that on the other page. So I just decided to do it this way. I just thought it might be okay to do. All right, let's go ahead and put this page together. And we're going to assemble this one in much the same way. On the back, as I was saying, I don't have anything for the back of this peekaboo pocket, but there is this pretty photograph of the Irish linen house and some prints that I believe are fabric. I can't remember. We were looking at them and they just looked really awesome. These reminded me of the Book of Kells stuff. Anyway, so let me just move these off of here. Get my Post-it before it gets something glued on top of it. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing on this page, essentially. We're going to grab our repositionable adhesive. We're going to start with that 1/2 inch piece at the bottom, line it up in the center at the jeeping, and work our way across. Okay, then we're going to grab our 1 inch word strip. This one's going to go right on top. Make sure you can read your words if you're using this same paper or a directional paper. If you're like me, stuff gets shifted around your desk and then you're liable to grab something and it'll be upside down and you'll be highly disappointed. Alright, so just adding a little bit more adhesive to this guy. Alright, hinges are on the left hand side, and this is going to go right up against the jeeping just like the other one that we put together. Right up against the words at the bottom and right up against the jeeping. Okay, then we're going to take this piece, again, a little bit of repositionable adhesive, and we're going to line this one up the exact same way that we lined up the other one, just going the other direction. Be careful as you're putting this down not to stretch it, because it will try to stretch out on you because of the nature of the punch, and you don't want to do that. So just be careful how you put that down. All right, now these photos, we've got the bottom of the stairs and Michael and Nimrod. Got these that are going to go up here on the top part, and I need a mat for that bottom photo, I think. Then we'll make a mat for this too. Okay, so let me grab some blue paper. Got this blue paper, we've got this blue paper. I'm going to use this one to create a mat for both this photo and the photos on the other page. So we're going to make this 4 1/4 inches wide. Okay, and then we're going to make this, let's see, think I need to actually put the photos on here to know how long to make it. So let me grab those and we'll just adhere them very quickly so that we can see where it needs to be cut. Okay. Now we're just going to trim this off at roughly 1/8 of an inch. And then that will go on that page up there. This one, I need another one at 4 1/4. And then we need to, I think this is going to be 6 1/4. Let's see, let's measure. Yeah, well, it's just shy of 6 1/4, more like 6 1/8. All right, so that's a little bit easier. Okay, so that, whew, I need to trim that. I measured that at 4 1/4, didn't I? Oh no, I measured it at 4. Dadgummit. Okay, here we go. We're going to just trim this just a tiny bit so that it will work. I don't think we'll lose too much by trimming 1/4 of an inch. Alright, and I'm going to just take a smidgen off the bottom as well. Okay. There. Alright, now what I also need to do is use that same paper, and we're going to make a mat for our oval. We're going to use the red blade to do that. I mean, if we're already matting everything, we might as well mat the oval too, right? Okay, well, that didn't make me very happy. My paper shifted. It's hard for me to keep pressure right now because my hands are not cooperating. So, when all else fails, glue your paper down, right? We'll just use this bit over here. All right. All done with that. We can pick this up and put it over there for another day. And this photo is going to go right in the middle of that cute little oval there. All right, this one is going to go in this mat here. All right, now I'm going to just go ahead and put all of my elements that I've got so far onto my page. And I'm noticing here that these outer photos have rounded edges as well. So let me go ahead and come in here. We'll round the edges of the photo mat, and my peekaboo pocket's not going to be rounded, but that's okay. So that's rounded. These pictures need rounded. Wow, it's going to just take me a minute to round all these corners. Bear with me. All right. I'm putting that away. Okay, now what we're going to do is come in here. I'm going to mount these photos up, and then we'll work on the journal box and the embellishments. Okay, so before I put this one on, I want to just double check. I can probably put it right there, but I think I'm going to want it to be a little more towards the journal box that's going to go over here. Now they have the journal box measured at 2.5 inches by 4 inches. This is already 4 inches, so I just need to decide how much of a journal box I want. And I think I'm going to go with something that's more like 3 inches for mine. So we're going to just pop this in here and cut it at 3 inches. It's going to end up being the only thing on the page that's not, that doesn't have a mat. And I wonder how I feel about that. Let's see. It doesn't have a mat in the design, and it blends, but it blends a little bit more into the page. Well, I think I'm going to just put it on like this. I think it'll be all right. It'll have writing on it, so that will make it stand out a bit better. So not too worried. Okay, so there's that, and we're gonna add some adhesive to the back of this one. It already has some. And add this kind of, I don't want to put it too high actually because it'll be covered by the peekaboo pocket now that I think about it. So I'm just going to put it kind of a little more down on the bottom. Okay, so there we've got our peekaboo pocket. Now we just need some embellishments. And I have these stickers and I have these stickers. So these are from the embellishment pack that came with the National Scrapbook Day 2021. And then these are made by Scrapbook Customs. I think I ordered them from scrapbook.com if you're interested. And they're just some kind of cool stickers that, you know, I need some variety. This album is going to have a lot of pages and I just don't want to put the same embellishments on every single page. So what I'm going to do is use these as my base and then use some stickers to accent the base rather than using this as a journal box. And so you can see from the sketch they just have embellishments here where the title goes and down here where the journaling box is. So we could kind of add this in with the journal box. It cuts a little more of the journal box off, but it would add a little something something. We could cut it down and make it a little smaller so that we weren't taking the entire corner up. I think I need to move this off so I can see a little bit better. And then this one could go up here, kind of tucked behind these photos with something on it. That would be a good cross embellishment, I think. So let's see, which ones are we going to add to this? We'll say smile, we're in Ireland, which is what we said a lot while we were there. When things would get a little dicey or be a little bit maybe frustrating, we would remind ourselves and say, smile, we're in Ireland. You know, that's pretty awesome that we were in Ireland, so we don't need to be grumpy. All right. Luckily, we were very fortunate that things were not like that very often, so we were very blessed. I've heard some travel nightmares in my time, and wow, that would just be awful. All right, so this one's going to go kind of down here, and this one's going to go tucked behind this photo a bit. And I may need to trim that. We'll just come back in and trim that off. Okay, so we'll stick that there, and the camera can go on there. And then we'll also add a couple of these cute little shamrocks. And I should have stuck this kind of behind the camera, but I got excited and pushed it down. Let's see if it'll let me lift it back up again. Kinda. Alright. There. Didn't really want to let me, but I'm persuasive. Alright. So I didn't use the foam squares on this one, but that's okay. I think you don't really have to use the foam squares on every single one. It actually is kind of nice for variation when you don't. Alright, so we added just a little shamrock down there too. And I just need to glue this one down because it's moving around a bit. Glue it down. Adhere it. I need to adhere it. Alright. we'll just set that kind of right in there like that. All right, so now all I need to do is put my title right here and do my journaling about this page, and then we'll put the peekaboo pockets on towards the end. If you haven't seen it already, and I can't remember if it's going to be posted before this video or not, I think it is. Actually, I think it might be the beginning of the week that we are putting this on. I actually am doing a 101.5 lesson on peekaboo pockets, so check that out. It's fun and exciting, and I hope this has been fun for you to watch it get put together, and I hope that it's something that you could do in your own albums. I don't think it's too tricky to put together, so I think you probably could take care of this and use it well in your albums. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, I hope you have many more creative moments. Make it a great day.